So here, let's look at number 5. So a histogram aids in analyzing the blank of the data. So we have to, so again, this is probably a pre-algebra question. Like we're looking at a histogram, right? So what is a histogram in the first place? So let me so instead of me drawing one for you, let me show you what a histogram is. So it's actually a lot easier to show you a histogram. So again, let's look at like this one here. A histogram, you have understanding my data, right? So it says here, this is actually give me a response time. Sure, let's use this one. This one's probably easier. There's no XX. Actually, I want an axis though. Let's see. Let's do this one. This one's easier. So tree heights and height, right? So I have these are the number of tree. Height is my independent variable, and then here is the number of trees, right? So how do we read this graph? We can say that our heights are in our independent variable, and the trees are dependent, right? So it says how many trees are between the heights of 100 and 150. Oh, this is about 5. 5 trees are between these heights. Between 150 and 200, there are 30 trees that are between these heights. It's kind of like 25 maybe between 200 and 250. The greatest one here is 50, right? Most trees are from 250 to 300, and then from 300 to 350, it's about 10 trees, right? So again, we're graphing. We're showing basically number of trees using height, right, as our independent variable. So it says here, so it basically says it shows you kind of a distribution of your data, right? So basically it's saying here the histogram aids in analyzing the, basically it says it's basically the distribution, right? So it says here, the answer says a histogram is a visual tool used to represent and analyze data, basically a graphic version of a frequency distribution, and it can show center, variation, and shape of distribution, right? So as you can see, let me reload my histogram here. I can see how sorry, I don't think you can, oh, you can't see tree heights here because my face is blocking, but this says tree heights, I'm sorry. But you can see here there's a distribution, right? You can see less trees are basically from 100 to 150, and from 300 to 350 there are not a lot of trees there. The greatest amount of trees are probably in the middle, right? The average amount, right? So again, this is the distribution of the data. When we talk about, we'll talk about more of that in like statistics when we talk about in terms of the normal distribution, normal variation. We talk about kind of confidence intervals and that sort of stuff. It's kind of mostly in stats here, but for a pre-algebra question, if we're just reading a histogram, it just says the distribution of the data. So I'm going to write here, and analyzing, you can just say this is the distribution of the data would be a valid answer. You could say variation as well. That's a valid answer as well. This, again, it's a very vague question because we don't know what this student's trying to ask here, but this here is a great answer in terms of what they're trying to look at here. So great solution, and it's a good explanation. So that's awesome. So that's that question over here. So solution is correct.